209 to Barnes Pond.
So I've spent a good portion of today and yesterday trying to determine my take on these Barnes changes. So in case you didn't already know, the 209, 378, 485 and 533 buses have been changed by TfL because of course they have to change everything. But I don't actually think all of these changes are for the better, and I'll try to do my best to explain. So probably the easiest change to explain is the withdrawal of the 533. The 533 basically no longer exists. It's not a bus route anymore. So I guess that's it for like buses numbered in the 500 series in London at least. Or is it? The 533 used to run between Hammersmith bus station and Castelnau, which is essentially Hammersmith Bridge Southside. Because if you don't already know, due to Hammersmith Bridge being a weak bridge, they decided to pedestrianize it, and you basically only get cyclists and pedestrians really using that bridge. And that connects Hammersmith Bridge North Side, which is where the 72 buses terminate, to Castelnau or Hammersmith Bridge South Side, which is where the 33 and former 533 used to operate. The 533 has since been replaced by a revised 209. The 209 before was what I would consider to be London's most useless bus route, and that's agreed on by some other enthusiasts out there. In fact, Godwin Transit made a video on the 209 being the most useless bus route, which I will link somewhere here. But yeah, the 209 used to run between Mortlake bus station and Castelnau, which is essentially like a 10-minute route. It ran down Barnes High Street and then up the Castelnau Road, and then that was it. It ran every half an hour going off of memory, and it shared duties with the 378. That was when they were both operated by Go Ahead and ran out of their Stockwell bus garage. Now, the 209 has been awarded to First Bus on an electric contract, but it's using temporary diesel Enviro 200 MMCs out of Stamford Brook bus garage for the time being. The new route runs between Hammersmith bus station to Barnes Pond. The interesting thing about this revised 209 is that it's actually symmetrical in both directions. So the 533, for those who didn't know, when it ran from Hammersmith to Castelnau, I don't actually think that the route served the high street, like Barnes High Street. However, when it ran back to Hammersmith bus station, it follows all of the buses that go along the Castelnau road, so like the 419, the former 209, and then it does a right onto Barnes High Street via Barnes Bridge, and then it goes up Lower Richmond Road into the Chiswick and Hammersmith areas. So 209 fixes this one-way system that we had with the 533 where certain stops weren't served in both directions, as the 209 is just a symmetrical route now. So whatever you serve in one direction is served in the other direction. The route going to Hammersmith is literally the route going to Barnes Pond, exactly in reverse. So I think that's less confusing for passengers, and I think it's a good thing because it also means going up and down Castelnau, you get 209 bus services, whereas before you would only get 533 going down the Castelnau road when it was going towards Hammersmith bus station, if I'm understanding it correctly. So yeah, I think this is a good change. For those who don't know as well, the 533 was very poorly operated by Go Ahead. It's as if they didn't care for how they ran the route, with buses frequently bunching, and obviously that's not good when you have a low frequency bus route running every 15 minutes. If you have bunched buses, that then means passengers can be waiting in excess of 30 minutes. So sometimes buses will often appear packed, and that's just bad servicing really. So by first bus winning the 209, I think this allows almost a fresh start, because really, if you kind of think about it, the 209 is just like a renumbered 533 with slightly different structuring, but it's mostly the same, like basically the same allocation, almost the same routing, just very key revisions in areas I think make sense. The 378 and 485 are other buses that were affected as part of the proposed Barnes bus changes, which went ahead. But I won't be covering it in this video, as this video is all to do with the 209. So in future videos where I post journeys on the 378 and 485, I'll talk about what happened with those two. But just to give you a little hint as to what I think, yeah, TfL done goofed. I don't know what they were thinking, but anyway, I'll keep the rant aside for that video. We're gonna go on to the journey, so hope you enjoy. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, here's the journey. Enjoy.
line to Barnes Pond. Barnes Pond.
Big area. I'm 43-year-old goalkeeper can't win the ball. He has a hamstring, so that's good. He can't do his own moves.
Sheen Lane, next station.
10 years ago, yeah. He was 33 10 years ago. We got Max Fultz as well. Fultz's little brother. He's also 5'10". Oh yeah, I always said I'm running now.
Barnes Pond.
Yeah. Well, you've got coins jiggling around your pocket. That's not and then on it. I think you need to issue like a fucking apology. I said I'm sorry, no. It's a one time. It's not. I like to start like I'm not going to mistake. You know, like loves it. Yeah, but when someone says that, like it's like okay. Well, I was like, yeah, we need a trademark. They're like, no, it's not a black card. What black card? Who gets black cards these days? They're like fucking Uber. They're like 30 quid. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure the fee stopped. My mate's one is like a drop already. Oh! No, I just lose your house. But she didn't Chelsea.